Okay, hello. Hello. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever time it is that you are watching this right now. Welcome back to the LuxLife podcast. I am Tanaé, and I'm so grateful for you. I'm going to say this every week. And if I ever don't say this, please leave a comment below saying, ma'am, you didn't say thank you, because I need to say thank you. So I just want to make sure I'm always showing my gratitude to you all, everybody that's watching it. Thank you so much for taking the time out to come over here and see what I am talking about over here. I'm appreciative whether you watch one, all of them, a few of them, whatever. I'm very appreciative. I'm very excited. This is episode number 4. Wow. 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 So, yes, thank you so much. Thank you, Lord. I'm just so grateful. But yes, let's go ahead and get into it. I try not to do too much of a long intro, but gotta start with gratitude always. All right, so for today, I want to talk about the luxury of solitude. So actually, guys, it's really funny because I tried to film this for episode number 2, I think I tried to do it. And like I filmed a good bit of it, but I just wasn't feeling it. Like it just wasn't sitting right. And it's because I just wasn't in that mind frame. Not really. Well, no. I love my personal time. I love my me time. But it just was. I like to do an episode where I've just like recently been through something where whatever the topic is, it's like sitting in my spirit right then, because I feel like it's more natural. It's easier for me to get my points across. So now I'm ready let's talk about it. Let's really get into solitude. And before I go any further, I am not saying that it's easy always to be alone, that, being single, maybe not having a whole lot of friends, maybe your closest friends and family don't live near you. I'm not saying that it's always easy or the best feeling in the world. But what I am saying though is that it is something to appreciate, and it has so many benefits that we need to take it seriously and find, of course, the luxury in it. Ooh, I got my tea again today, y'all. So today is the butterfly pea again, but I did it with a little bit of lemongrass, and it's so good. I love lemongrass. Do y'all like lemongrass? I just love like the refreshing taste of it. It's kind of reminds me of mint, but like not as powerful, not as like overwhelming, if that makes sense. So hold on, I'm gonna put this down so I gotta take a little sip. Yeah, that's it. All right. Okay. So I have 2 major points that I really want to get into today as to why solitude is really a luxury. We need to find the value in it. So number 1, you get to hear yourself think. You get to really hear whatever it is that the Lord has in store for you, what He wants you to know. Okay, you get to figure out, what do you want? Okay, sometimes we're around our friends, and I'm guilty of this myself. We're around our friends, and they got this plan. They're trying to go out and do this. Hold on, let me adjust. Okay. They're trying to go out and do this. They're trying to go there. And you're like, oh man, that is so cool. That sounds great. That sounds amazing. I'm trying to do that too. But maybe that's not your story. Maybe that's not for you. Maybe it's not for you yet. And so what happens, we get into this stronghold of comparison, right? And we forget that we all have our own path. All have our own journey. And then when things don't work out for us the way that we wanted to, we're like, well, why not? And that's because we didn't sit and think about, what do I actually want for myself? And in order to do that, in order to figure that out clearly, you have to be willing to sit alone, sit by yourself, and figure out what is best for you. What is going to work for you? Do you actually want those things, or are you wanting it just because your friends are making it look cool? Because your friends and your family are suggesting it to you? Is that what you actually want for yourself? Okay. And then does it even make you happy? Is this something that you actually are enjoying doing? Do you actually like that girl? Do you actually like that boy? Or are you just so scared of being alone that you're willing to put up with any and everything just to say that you're not alone? But we'll get into that more in a little while. But seriously, like, is this situation actually making you happy? Or are you just so fearful of being in that solitude, being in that isolation, being alone because you're not sure if people are still going to remember you, if people are still going to think about you, and maybe you don't actually enjoy being with you that much. But we're gonna get. I'm going off. I'm going off track here. Okay, but you really get a chance to figure out for yourself, who do you want to be? What kind of woman do you want to be? What kind of man do you want to be? And guess what? Everybody can't tell you that. They can give you suggestions. They can say, well, do you want to be a mass murderer? You know, that can make you think, do you want to be that? Do you want to be an a-hole? Do you want to be somebody that is not nice? Do you want to be somebody that is well respected? Do you want to be somebody that people know they can go to, and they can trust in, that they can rely on? Who do you want to be? Only you can figure that out. Sitting alone and accepting yourself in that solitude, accepting the fact that you do actually have to be alone to figure out what you want, it gives you a chance to really get some perspective. You get to see and look around. You can look around your room, look around the cafe, look around wherever you may be, and think, who are the people that I actually want around me? What are the situations that make me feel the most comfortable? What are the situations that make me feel the least comfortable? Am I really ready to go and make these big endeavors? Am I really ready to make this investment? Huh. Or I could have made this investment a long time ago, but because I've waited or I have been expecting and listening to the thoughts, the opinions of other people, I've kept pushing these desires that God has put into my heart years ago. I've been pushing them to the side, and now it's going to take me even longer to get it done. So it helps you to gain a better perspective of the world around you without the world intervening so much. And it is so easy to allow the world to intervene in our opinions of ourselves and those around us. Um, Social media, TV, movies, without us even realizing it, they can so quickly change and alter our personal perspective. You know, maybe you had a feeling about a certain politician or a specific political viewpoint or I want to, religious viewpoints, um, or, how you should be living your life, whatever like that. Maybe you had one viewpoint, but then you logged into Instagram, and I'm guilty of this as well. Logged into Instagram, Snapchat. Why did I say, well, yeah, okay, Snapchat. I'm like, why did I even bring up Snapchat? Like, I don't ever be on Snapchat. I did log on to Snapchat today though because I wanted to see, like some college memories. But I was like, no, I don't like none of these. Just because I was like, Tanaé, you was chunky, girl. What was going on? But anyway, that is actually absolutely nothing to do with what I'm talking about right now. But logging into these things, YouTube, whatever, even coming here and listening to what I'm saying can alter and change our perspective. All the things that I'm saying right now, I feel and I hope that I'm making some very valid points, but it doesn't mean that now I've given you all of the answers. I've helped you to figure out your whole entire life. Hopefully I'm helping a little bit. Hopefully I'm giving you some points to think on, but you don't need to, nor do I want you to take everything that I'm saying and apply it in every specific way and every specific facet of your life. I may be saying some really valuable things that help you to figure certain things out, but I'm my own person. Okay? You are your own person. You have to sit and get a valid perspective for yourself. And again, it is so easy for those things to be changed, manipulated, because many of us, we do want to be accepted. Okay, we say, "Oh, I don't care what nobody thinks," and blah 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 blah. To a certain extent, we all do. Okay, we want people to know that we care about them. We want people to know that we're good people and that we're genuine and that we're hardworking and all of those things. We do, you know. You don't let it run your life. Don't let it stop you from doing the things that you want to do if you're not getting the response back that you want. But we do care about those things. However, it is what the perspective that is most important is your own. Listen to others, okay? See what other people have to say, but figure out, what do you want? What do you see? Okay? Sometimes, right? Like, create an example. You'll go somewhere with your friends and you will see something in somebody that you know just isn't sitting right with your spirit. You're like, something ain't clicking here. But everybody else around you is like, no, they're cool. It's all good. It's all chill. They real cool. Da 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 da. Okay, and you're hanging out with them for days and days and days on end, and you haven't really had a chance, maybe because you didn't want to, or you just really didn't have a chance because you guys had plans or whatever, to really sit and think about your perception on this situation. But because you didn't do this, you didn't go and sit just with yourself. You only stuck to what other people are telling you about this person and about this situation. You didn't get to go and sit with yourself and say, you know what? I am going to believe myself right now, and I'm not going to tell this person too much of my business. I'm going to kind of minimize how much I'm hanging out with this person. I'm not going to keep going around them as much as everybody else, because I genuinely feel that my perception and what I'm seeing doesn't align with who I am, doesn't align with my values, and it does not align with my own personal morals. But if you don't do that, what are you going to do? You're going to keep going off of what everybody else is saying, and then they might trigger you, they might disrespect you, they may disrespect your boundaries. And that happens because we don't sit with ourselves and allow ourselves to say, you know what, this is how I'm feeling, this is my perspective on this is my perception on this, and I feel valid in that. Now sometimes we are wrong. So, and I'm not saying to not listen to your friends, to not listen to what they're saying, because you could be wrong. But it doesn't mean that your feelings are invalid. Okay? So sit with yourself and figure out what is best for you. There's an example in the Bible. I wish that I would have written down the specific scripture, but basically what I'm saying though is that Jesus went and prayed by himself often. So if Jesus, who, like I have said before, I believe is God, had to go by himself and pray, then don't you think that we need to go sit by ourselves and pray and think about some things in life? But my specific example was that before Jesus made his final decision on who his apostles were going to be, his disciples, excuse me, they became, but you know what I mean, his final 12 disciples were going to be, he had to go alone and pray, because he wanted to make sure that he was making the right decision, that he was going to have the right people behind him. Some people may disagree because, you know, he chose Judas in that, but even Judas had a purpose, and Jesus knew that. You know, so we have to sit and be willing to go and pray and hear what it is the Lord wants for us and from us. You can't, if you got a bunch of noise constantly around you, do you think you're going to actually be able to hear from God and what he really wants from you? I mean, he'll still be talking to you, but are you going to really be able to hear him clearly if you got the noise of this world constantly in your ear? Definitely not. I know I couldn't. I'm 2024 is like a big year of transition for me. Like, a lot of things are happening, and it's a lot. And last night I really had to sit by myself for a while and just listen. Just be at peace. Just like figure out and differentiate, okay, what do I want? What do I think I want? And what is God trying to tell me that he wants for me, because whatever he wants for me is always going to be way better than any plan that I can have imagined for myself. My plan might be here. It might be really good, but his plan going to be way up here. I want this one. Okay. This one is cool. This one is nice, but this one is going to be way better. So let me try to get up to here. Let me get up to this one, because this one is going to flow better. It's going to be, it might come with a little bit more trials, but the end result, girl, it's going to be way better. So sit. Kind of tastes like Fruity Pebbles. Like, but tea, if that makes sense. And it's not like super sweet or sugary. I mean, I put a little bit of honey in there, but not too much. But and there's that, like, the lemongrass has like this nice refreshing after effect, after taste, you know? That's gonna have to be a thing. That's definitely about to be a new thing. I'll have to go back to that market and get me another one. But yeah, that is, so be willing to sit in that solitude to hear yourself, to hear the Lord, so that you can see, okay, do our plans align? And if they don't align, Lord, let your will be done, because your will is going to always be better. Okay. All right. The second point why solitude is so incredible is you gain so much more self-acceptance in that. You're not looking for the gratification or is that the right word? You're not looking for other people to tell you that you're a good person. If you're comfortable with you, you know that you are giving things your best every single day, you can go home and look in the mirror and sit in your room by yourself, watch that movie, and be comfortable, because you know you've given your best to the day. But you have to figure out, do you like you? Do you like yourself? Are you okay with yourself? Because if you don't like yourself, right, how can you expect for other people to like you if you don't like yourself? Like, how can you set this not to say that they don't like you. That's not what I mean. What I mean is that if you don't like yourself, right, how can you set an expectation for other people to love you, like you, be there for you, if you can't give those things to yourself? That's completely unfair. That's very selfish. How can you expect somebody else to fulfill you in those ways if you're not able to fulfill those needs within yourself? Because one thing that I know is that they will never ever be able to fulfill you the way that you want. Even if you do like yourself, no earthly being will ever be able to satisfy you or give you the feelings, those happy, joyful feelings, as much as you want them to, because you're not even able to give it to yourself. So how can you expect for somebody else to complete that for you? They won't, ever. So sitting in solitude, sitting by yourself, you get a chance to learn you. You get a chance to figure out, okay, here are the things that I don't like about myself. Can I change any of these things? Can I work on some of these things? Or is this something that I have to accept? But is it something that I can start to really love about myself? Maybe you don't like, the shape of your head. I know that's childish, that's small, but seriously though, there can be things. I got a big old forehead, y'all. Like, I don't know if y'all can tell in some of these pictures and videos that I post or whatever on social media, but child, I got a big old forehead. And it is like really, for a while, it was something that I just, but you know what? Now I've accepted it because I'm still cute. And like, I'm smart. So my thing to always say is that, this big old forehead better be something in there. And there's a lot of good stuff in there. It's a lot of knowledge in there. It's a lot of love in there. It's a lot of willingness in there. It's a lot of bravery up in there. You know what I'm saying? So it's just more space. It's just more space and capacity for all the goodness, you know? So Take time to figure out, do you like you? Because what you don't want is to become a burden to other people because they're trying to convince you of how wonderful you are because you won't sit with yourself to find out how wonderful you are. All that's going to do is push other people away. They're going to get tired of that. They're going to get exhausted of it. I'm just going to put it blunt for you. They're going to get tired of it. They're going to get exhausted of it. And it's not going to work. Because you know what's going to happen? You're not going to believe them because you don't believe it for yourself. Nobody is going to be willing to spend all these years telling you something that you won't take time to try and believe in yourself. So please be willing to sit by yourself. Go to that restaurant by yourself. It's not as bad as you think. Because guess what? Ain't nobody worried about you for real. You know what they're worried about? Is their food hot? Is that coffee going to come out right? Is their order going to be correct? Did they bring enough cash to pay for their food? Is their card going to decline or accept? Ain't nobody worried about you. Sit down and eat your food and go about your business. Read your book. Go to the mall by yourself. Go to the movies by yourself. Ain't nobody worried about you. And if they are, it's because they don't know how to be worried about only themselves. It's a cycle here. I'm telling you, when other people are taking the time out to judge you on something childish like that, as you just wanted to go out to a restaurant by yourself and enjoy yourself, more than likely they're trying to figure out how you're able to do that because they want to be able to do it. So they project it in a way of like hatred or jealousy, but in reality, they just want to be able to do the same thing. But instead of doing it in a nice way or trying to come to you and say, hey, like, I really admire the way that you have been able to sit in here by yourself and just enjoy your meal, read your book, whatever. Like, what did it take for you to be able to do that? Many people don't have that capacity in them. But guess what? That's not a you problem. That's a them problem. But can you do it? I want you to work on that. I want you to go out like you've been trying to do for a while now and just go and just sit and go to the park, take a walk, whatever it is. Start with baby steps. Go for a walk up the street real quick by yourself. Just gather your thoughts. Like you can do that. Stop telling yourself that you can't, or that's going to be hard, or that people are going to laugh at you. They'll laugh at you if you do something silly, if you trip. I mean, I might even laugh. I'm not going to lie. But I'd also laugh at myself. So, like at some point we have to pick a struggle. You know what I mean? Like, are you going to just whine and complain and wait at home for everybody to tell you, yeah, I'll go with you, and not go to the restaurant? Or are you going to go to the restaurant, have you a great time, and possibly maybe run the risk of somebody judging you for it? But again, like I said, more than likely, if they are judging you for it, it's because they're trying to figure out how you're able to do that because they want to be able to do it. You can sit and you can think and accept, like, everyone may not like you. Everyone may not love you. And that's hard. As somebody who, like, it's really hard for me to explain sometimes because, like, I don't care, but, like, also I do care. I do. And we're so quick to say, I don't care at all, but, like, we do. That's why we post on social media. That's why we make friends, because we do care about what certain people think. Maybe not everybody. That's okay. But the people closest to us, we do care about their opinion. However, we do have to get to a point though where we have accepted ourselves enough and we're comfortable enough with ourselves to know everyone won't. And there may even come a point where somebody that we are very close with, maybe they stop accepting us. Maybe they stop loving us. I know, and you won't even always have a reason for that. That has happened to me before. I had a very, very, this person was my best friend. And we have not talked in years, and I couldn't even tell you why. And it still bothers me. So I'm not trying to say, like, oh, it's so easy, get over it. It still bothers me sometimes. It doesn't bother me as much as it used to because I know that I didn't do anything. And if I did, I wish that this person would tell me. I wish you'd be like, this is today, that's what you did. But I didn't. But I've had to accept that everybody sometimes has seasons. And we had our season. And it was a great season. Like, man, she really helped me get through high school. Like, high school was really, really, really hard. And she really helped me through that time, and I needed her. And so I have accepted to a point that maybe that was our season. Maybe, high school and some of college, that was our season. We needed each other in that time. And again, I'm not saying that I'm like completely over it, but I have accepted that maybe the love that it was then, it just didn't continue, and it doesn't mean that like we hate each other or that there's beef or anything like that. Like we've spoken a couple of times over the past couple of years, but we're not friends. We don't talk, we don't check up on each other, it's nothing like that. And like that's just what it is. And I have to find a way to be okay with that. And it doesn't make me less of a person. It doesn't mean that I've done anything wrong. It doesn't mean that I should start disliking myself any less. It's just life sometimes. Also, you get to find that you don't have to please people to feel loved because you love yourself enough. And that really goes into like not settling for anyone, friends, romantic relationships, whatever, because you know you're good all by yourself. And I don't even mean like in a financial standpoint. You can go home, turn on your movie, pop your popcorn, and have you a good time because you know that you're fun, you're funny, you're interesting, you have good conversations, you're hardworking, you're thoughtful, you're caring, you're kind, you're energetic, you have these really cool interests. If you know all those things about yourself, what do you have to prove to this person that isn't actually interested in finding out those cool and incredible and fun and amazing things about you? Is that really somebody that you want to be investing all this time into when there's so many other people out there that do want to find that out about you? Or for you to keep increasing on those incredible things about yourself? Like, no, no. When you sit and find out how wonderful you are, because you are wonderful, you may have things to work on. I have things that I'm constantly still working on, but it doesn't mean that you're not incredible. Doesn't mean that you're not awesome. Doesn't mean that you're not wonderful. It just means that you're not for that person. And more than likely, that person ain't for you. Y'all ain't for each other. And that's okay. But you don't have to settle. You don't have to put up with somebody treating you any kind of way, talking to you any kind of way. You know why? Because you know for yourself that you deserve better. You know that you are a genuine person, that you have a good heart. So you ain't gotta put up with anybody just because you don't want to be alone. Just because you don't want to be alone, just because you don't want to sit at the house by yourself, you're gonna continue to allow somebody to disrespect you, your values, your morals, your family, your friends, whatever. Just because you don't want to be alone. There's too many people out here. There's too many people out here. There's too many people out here. And forget the other people. You're too good for that. You are too good for that. You're too good for that. Sit alone, sit in silence. Think about what you want. Who do you want to be? What kind of people do you actually want around you? Do you feel appreciated by the people that are around you? Do you feel cared and supported by them? Are you giving them the care and support that they deserve? Because if you're not able to give that to yourself, then more than likely you're not able to give it to other people in the capacity that you would like to. And finally, I want to end with this. Matthew 6:6 lets us know that Solitude brings rewards. And I don't mean now like earthly value, like money and houses and cars, which I mean, it can. That's not what I'm saying at all. But our lives are worth so much more than that, you know? Um, Sitting with yourself and accepting yourself, that is the reward. Loving yourself more, that is a reward. Looking in the mirror and being proud of who you see, that is a reward. Going to work every day and knowing that you gave it your best, and your coworkers coming up to you and saying, I appreciate what you do. And even if they don't, but I'm just using this as an example, that is a reward. Don't put those things as real small. They are important. They keep you driven. They keep you going. They allow you to appreciate yourself. Those are rewards. Cars and a nice apartment and all that stuff. That's all great. I love those things. So that's not at all what I'm trying to say. Those are great rewards as well. But inner peace, being happy with yourself, those are the rewards that will last a lifetime. A car can break down. Our physical bodies can break down, but your love for yourself, your spirit, only if you allow others to come in and break that. But if you sit and appreciate your solitude, your isolation, that time alone, nobody can take that from you unless you willingly give that to them. So don't. Appreciate you. Appreciate that time alone. Appreciate figuring out who you want to be, what you want for yourself. Appreciate all those incredible things that make you so special, that make you different. None of us are exactly the same. We all have the same purpose in life, which is to connect and serve and to serve God. But who we are, our paths and things like that, it's different. And that's incredible. Don't you love hearing about other people's paths and the things that they've done? People love hearing about you too. Take pride in the things that you've done. Take pride in the things that you've accomplished. Because can't nobody else live your life, and you can't live nobody else's life. So take pride in those things. Again, to finally finish all this off, I'm not saying, okay, because people will take this as, oh, Tanaé is so okay with like being alone all of her life. That's not at all what I'm saying. But what I am saying though is that there is so much knowledge, there's so much power, there's so much intelligence and love, and being able to just sit by yourself and say, self say, huh? Y'all remember that? What's that from? That's talk to myself, self say, huh? I can't remember right now. I think it's definitely a movie. Was it Medea? I feel like I've been quoting Medea a whole lot, but she be making some points. I don't know about Tyler Perry, but Medea, she be making some points. But yeah, love you, appreciate you. Don't let anybody make you feel bad for being alone, for being single, for not wanting to have a whole lot of people around you. I'm not saying to not be nice. I'm not saying to be rude to people or to avoid people. But what I'm saying is it's okay if you feel like a certain group or a certain area, a certain situation is not for you. Don't force yourself into places just because you don't want to have to be alone. Find the strength in that. Find the power in that. And watch the way that you continue to blossom. And watch the way that the right people will just naturally come around you. If being alone is something that you struggle with, if you can delve deeper into that, the right people will come around. So maybe you don't have to spend so much time alone. But if you're constantly searching and seeking just for some validation from anybody, you're not going to find the right people to be around. The right people, the wrong people will just continue to find you. Sit, take pride, take the power back in that isolation, in that solitude, in being alone. And the right people will just naturally find you. That is just life. God will just send you the right people. But you have to be ready for the right people. That's why they don't come around, because the Lord can see when you ain't ready for that. Because you can bring other people down just as much as they can bring you down. So no, he's not going to send you the right people if you're not in a mental and spiritual capacity to handle them. He's not going to do that. Because you might mess them up. You might mess up the path that God has put them on. So no, he ain't finna do that. Mm-mm. All right, I'm at my 35-minute mark. I don't like for this to go too long, but I love you. God loves you so much, more than you could ever imagine. He created you to be you. So why shouldn't you be able to sit by yourself? He put you together in a certain way for a reason. But yes, I'm sending you so much love. Have a wonderful, this will be posted on Monday. On Sunday. If YouTube stop playing with me, it'll be posted on Sunday. So have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful week. Tell the Lord thank you. Drink some water. Have a little tea. Go outside. Get some fresh air. And I'll see you next week. Bye.